to the tech talk. Basically, I want to share with you the lessons that I learned during this process. I have just a month ago finished one certification that I am trying to accomplish. That is the one that calls AWS Cloud Practitioner. For the ones that do not know, AWS have some certifications that give an idea about how AWS works. So the idea of this tech talk is probably give you some information about what is AWS for the ones who do not have a work with that, and share with you some tips and tricks that I have found during this work. And at the end, I am going to try to show you some kind of demo that I have prepared, how that works. So any moment if you have any question or whatever, you can tell me. At the end, I think that I am going to have time to also a moment for QA. So question and answers at the end of the meeting, I think I can do it. So the agenda for today is going to be basically what's the cloud, very, very brief idea behind what's the cloud. Probably try to share with you about what are the services, more focused now on this certification, because this is the first level in terms of certification. Have a second level that calls AWS Associate Architect. That certification is more complex, so more topics have to be reviewed. But these services that are the one that I'm going to show you are basically the one that for the certification are necessary to study or to understand or to try to go into some kind of detail. Some tips and tricks about the certification itself, what means number of questions, what happens if you not answer a correct question, and that kind of things. A little demo that I have prepared. Actually, I have two demos. Let's see if I have time to show that one. And at the end, questions and answers. So what is cloud? Basically, cloud computing, in a sense, is the way that we have to now run different software applications on servers that are hosted not in our own data centers. For this idea of cloud computing appeared a long time ago. So the topics or the way that normally the providers divide his clouds, and this is across all the providers. I mean, AWS, Oracle, IBM, Microsoft, and all the different providers that give an option to use his cloud use the same terminology in terms of using the different service and separate this in the same way. One called EAS, that is infrastructure as a service, basically are more focused on the part of expose different services to be used like hardware. So you can use storage, you can implement servers itself, like virtual servers. In the case of this certification, I think this is the most important part. So during this talk, probably I am going to talk a lot about storage, a lot about what means a server in AWS and how to work with that. The other one is the PaaS, that is platform as a service. So basically, AWS and most of the providers in the market give us an option to use different solutions in his cloud to only be concerned about our code and have any options for his side to have services that manage security, databases, and also for sure the part of the servers and the hardware. So it's one more layer. And in this case, for example, in AWS, we have Elastic being installed. We have the part of the Kubernetes service, for example, could be similar like that one. and the last one is SaaS, that is software as a service. Example of SaaS, for example, that in the market, Salesforce, for example, is an example of a software as a service platform that basically give to the customers that use these kind of solutions a complete stack of different elements that are part of this of this separation in the cloud. So the customer only have to make some kind of specific implementation, but based it on what this SaaS platform do. And again, it's similar like Salesforce. For the one that knows Salesforce, knows that, for example, Salesforce gives you a lot of different options that you have only to make some kind of customization. So SAP, for example, now are moving to a SaaS approach, moving all his services to cloud. So it's something interesting in the way that this was divided. But these are in general the terminology that you are going to find and in all the providers. All the providers, if you go and you said, I want to know your PaaS services, are going to understand what do you mean with PaaS or what do you mean with ES. Well, basically that's cloud computing, very briefly. So in the part of services in the AWS cloud, something interesting that I would like to share with you is basically that the first step to start working with AWS is create an account. So, for example, I have created an account. Let me show you what means to create an account. So I have created an account. This is how the AWS Management Console looks like. When you create an account, you are going to have access to all of these services. The first time that you create an account, you are going to have a 12 months free trial to work based on some kind of limits, but it's going to be free for 12 months. And after that, you have a specific section in AWS Amazon.com where you specify which are the services that are going to continue free forever. So 12 months of simple storage to put a lot of requests on Amazon S3, to create different computer services, etc. So you have a lot of things to start playing with. But the first step is to create probably the account to work with. The second thing is the levels of support. This is important because when you create an account the first time, all the people that have these basic accounts have this basic support. That means basically access to a standard support line. It's free for sure, but you don't have too much support, only the standard support line that you can make any kind of question, and for sure forums and different sites in the web that you can find about AWS. The other step in terms of support is developer. The developer support service is for the ones that are starting to move his workload in a developer environment. So you have some kind of access to email to any kind of engineer in Amazon in business hours. Also some kind of guidance during 24 hours, but it's only by chat and costs more or less $29 per month. The one that is business is the one that the customers use in case they have workloads in production. So they need some kind of support that should be more dedicated. In this case, the guys that have business support have phone access to engineers, chat access, email access, also have some kind of indicators in case something goes down. For example, in production, the AWS resolve your incidents in 1 hour. So that costs $100 per month. And the enterprise, that is the one that is more expensive. That is the one that have workloads, critical workloads in production, have a lot of different tools. The most important tool probably that gives you the enterprise support is a role that calls TAM. The TAM is Technical Account Manager. So AWS assigned to you to a Technical Account Manager to work with you and to be all the time with you, trying to resolve your different issues, have an indicator about business critical system incidents that can be resolved in 15 minutes. So everything that you report as critical with the enterprise support should be resolved in 15 minutes. And as you see there, also the price is is more high than the business price, but also you have access to different labs, for sure. Knowledge places about Amazon is also free for this customer. So in the case of the certification, I have had in my exam probably 4 or 3 questions about different levels of support and what means each of these level. So for instance, important to try to remember the different details about these services and support. Moving to the part of the global infrastructure, Amazon, as you see here, have different regions, and these called regions. So different regions in different parts of the world. Have 4 regions in United States, 1 region in Africa, different areas in Asia Pac, Canada, Europe, Middle East, and 1 in South America, in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. All these regions are in some way in all the world also, but are distributed in the way that all the customers around the world can use Amazon in some way. So the way that you can select your region is basically try to move into this and try to select the region that you feel that can be the one that you are. In our case, and that we are now in the US, takes sense to make all your development in the US regions. Any of them are good. For the one that are living, for example, in Madrid, in Spain, probably Paris or Frankfurt could take sense to use. And again, for the one that lives in South America, Sao Paulo is the only one that takes sense to use, because basically the latency between the services are better if you use your region. So it's a recommendation to try to select the region that is more near you. So moving to a part of the services, as I have told you, I have divided this into 4 kind of services. So I have to try to move between this theory and the console itself to try to show you more or less how it looks like each of these services. I have made a resume of this because I have tried to put only the most important services that also I see that appear in the exam. But I think that could be, for the one that are interested to take this certification, could be a good idea to try to go into the different papers of Amazon in order to study this. But the basic division is core compute services, core storage services, core database services, and the core networking services. Is the way that also Amazon divides this. If you see here, you're going to see in some way different services. Here appear more services than in my slide, because basically, as I have told you, the Cloud Practitioner certification do not test to you to all the services. So here appears some compute services. I am going to explain some of them, not all of them. Storage services, databases, but as you see here, have also services about blockchain, about robotics, about machine learning, for sure, analytics, and so a lot of different interesting information that you can try to take a look at. For the one that are DevOps here, also have his own DevOps tools, and actually exists a certification for DevOps in Amazon. So also you can try to take a look at the different services about DevOps. That are these one developer tools. Here you have a code pipeline that is similar like Jenkins, code commit that is similar like Bitbucket or Git, artifact, Cloud9, code commit, etc. So have a lot of tools also that can support that part of DevOps also to create games. Okay, so a lot of services, but returning to this, so starting with the core computer service, I am going to talk about the basic one. The most important one are the one that calls EC2. EC2, for you to know, are virtual machines in AWS. Basically, when you create an EC2 instance, what is going to happen is you are going to have the possibility to have your own instance created based on different, for example, image that exists. Here I can have image from Red Hat, from SUSE Linux, from Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows. Some of them are free. Another one you have to pay for that. Normally the ones that are free are from the one from Amazon, but you are going to be aware of that because at the end it's going to appear here that are part of the free tier. But you are going to see that this window, for example, is not part of free tier, so probably have a specific cost. So if I select, for example, this Amazon Linux, I can select different types of services based on the number of virtual CPUs and memory. So if I select this one, that is the free one, I can move and I can start putting more configuration about how this instance is going to look like. And in this case, the EC2 instance, you can select on-demand instance. That means that you start an instance and the instance is going to be up all the time that you decide to be up. So you are going to pay for that. So that these kind of instances you have to be careful about this, because if you, for example, start working tomorrow in the morning and you do not stop the instance, and the instances are up all the night, and the end the bill is going to be very high because the instance have using different services or resources from AWS. So on demand is recommended in the case that you are making a specific action and you know that you can then shut down the instance, you can stop the instance. In that case, you can use on-demand instance. The other kind of instances are going to be the reserved instance that usually the customers use in case they know that they know how many how the workload is going to be, so they can reserve an instance. These are more cheap. So if you reserve for next year an instance of Red Hat Enterprise Linux with 20 cores that is going to be used for next year, the price is going to be more cheap than the one that is on demand. And the spot instance are the one that you can use in case you know that your workload can be stopped in any moment. So not recommended for production, is only recommended for in terms of development purpose. No. The other one that are part of the computer service are the Elastic Being Installed. Elastic Being Installed provides like a blueprint. That is when you launch a Being Installed, you can have access to different computer storage, database, and network resources based on environments that are pre-configured. So this means that if you are a developer of Node.js and you start an instance of Being Installed, you can specify to Amazon that you are going to work in that environment, and Amazon gives you the environment based on databases, network, compute, storage, to be able to work on Node.js, and from your side, only be worried about your code. So give all the configuration that you need. And the one that probably is more famous, that more people know about that, and also is going to be part of my demo, is Lambda. Lambda is normally the name is a function as a service. So basically execute specific actions that have a scope very little, only have to take only 15 minutes at least of executing. and can scale automatically in any moment. So it also have to be triggered. In the case of containers, that I think that here in most of the customer states use containers in some way, Amazon has a solution that calls Elastic Container Service. That is basically the tool that they use to manage the different containers or cluster of containers. So you can deploy whatever you want to deploy. You can deploy in EC2 instances in a cluster based on Docker, or also something that's called Fargate. Fargate is a server container engine. Both of them can be managed by Elastic Container Service. It's free to create clusters. It's free to create this kind of Fargate services. What is not free for sure is to use the EC2 instances, because depending of the configuration, probably you have to pay something like that. But Elastic Container Service are similar, like we have tools that manage containers. For the ones that are thinking about Kubernetes, Amazon have also Kubernetes service. I don't have put here because the Cloud Practitioner exam do not cover that part, but have also a Kubernetes service, similar like OpenShift. So you can probably reproduce the different activities, actions, or functionalities that you have in OpenShift using Kubernetes service in some way. In the part of storage, you have some very big topic that I have put a resume here that calls S3. S3 is the storage service that we have in Amazon. So in S3, basically what you have buckets. Bucket is like a big place where you can put whatever you want to put. You can basically save there any kind of objects. In my demo project, you're going to see more details about that. But it's as simple as you can create a bucket here. You put a name. Some curious thing here is you have to put unique names, because you cannot repeat the names. And if someone in the world have put my bucket, probably for any reason, Amazon is not going to allow to create this bucket. You can create also buckets that are public or not public. You can put version into that bucket to maintain some kind of version for that. You can encrypt that bucket. And the interesting thing about this is that you can define different types of bucket. You can say a standard bucket, a standard infrequent access, one song, glacier, depends on how often you are going to use your bucket, are the different types. It's very important for the certification purpose to understand the details about this. For me, it's not going to, I don't have enough time to explain one by one, but I think that take note about this part, because probably is 30 or 40% of the questions that I have in the exam is about S3 and the different details behind S3. And as I have shown you in the console, you can make an encryption of the S3. You can make versioning, or you can try to manage some kind of object life cycle of the services, of the different objects in the bucket. Another way of managing storage is the storage gateway. In this case, we have three types of storage gateway. The file gateway, that is similar like a network file system, NFS, or a server message block, SMB. So works in the same way in Amazon. So all the data is stored in S3, but it's a file gateway where you can send all your data. And also we have another way, another kind of gateway that calls volume gateway, that divided into storage and cache. Basically, the difference between both is that store, you are going to have all your data locally in your data center, and Amazon is going to make some kind of asynchronous backup of your data to S3 as snapshots. So it's going to take like a photo. A snapshot is a photo of the data. It's going to take from your data center, and it's going to send asynchronous to S3. And the other one is the cache, that is basically you are going to have you are going to maintain all your frequently used data in your in your data center that is going to be cached in your data center, but all the workload data is going to be in Amazon. So two ways to save the data based on volume gateway, and tape gateway is basically virtual tapes that are bucketed in S3 and are more old data that you usually do not use. No. In the side of storage, also you have the option to save terabytes of data. For this, I have put this photo because basically what Amazon sent to you is this kind of device, big devices that you have to connect to your data center to save all your data, terabytes of data, and this called a snowball. And the snowball then you can send to the data center of Amazon to be saved there. And the big one, that is the one that, for the one that are thinking, why if I have, how I manage, if I have petabytes of data, have something, big trucks that calls Snowmobile, can manage 100 petabytes of data, no, that are equivalent to 1,250 snowballs. So basically you call Amazon, you say, I need a snowmobile, and the snowmobile is going to arrive to your house, and you are going to be able to put all the data in this truck, and then the truck return to data center, more near data center of Amazon, and you are going to be able to have your data in the data centers of Amazon. No? So that are the most typical way of manage data, from the most basic that are S3 to the most complex that are Snowmobile. Moving to a part of databases. Here in databases, Amazon have different options. In this case, have something that calls RDS. RDS is the relational database management system that can support SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, and also I have also read that support also MariaDB, and they are working on that. So you can use this kind of databases in case you need some kind of system that use this kind of technology. Support also that you can use your own license, so you can include or bring your own license to use your RDS, or you can buy to Amazon a license in case you need it. In the case of Microsoft, for example, you can use RDS and you can bring your on-premise license to be used in the cloud. So this is something that the customers like, this way of licensing, because it's more easy to manage in terms of the things that they have in the on-premise. The other one that is proprietary of Amazon calls Aurora. Aurora basically is compatible with MySQL and Postgres, but is for Amazon, is of Amazon. So Aurora move in that way. Some specific features about the databases of Amazon are that can scale vertically or horizontal. Vertically means that you have a way to allocate more resources to a specific instance after you create, so you can scale up to more powerful in terms of instance, or you can add memory, you can add CPU, you can do whatever you want in terms of scaling the databases vertically and horizontal. For this case, you have two options, and also these are very interesting topics that appear in the exam a lot about how to scale databases in Amazon. In the case of horizontal scaling, you have the option to add additional RDS instances, and this mechanism called read replica. So in that case, you add another instance to be used by your application, and this instance is going to be used only for read, and this is called read replica. And the other one that is more thinking about high availability calls multi-AC. So you can create like a infrastructure where you have a database that are active in all the moment and a standby database, And Amazon is responsible for making this synchronization all the moment. So you have to don't worry about this kind of synchronization. The replication of the data is managed by Amazon. So you only make this configuration. You say, I want that my RDS have multi-AC, and all the data is going to move for the different services. Normally, the standby database is in another region, could be, because imagine if I have my database in Brazil and the data center of Brazil, an earthquake happened in Brazil and I lost my data, I can recover because I have another one in Australia. So it's easy to manage in that way, and it's part of the high availability configuration that normally the customers have. The other one is the DynamoDB. This is a NoSQL database. Also have this flavor of databases, so you have the option to, in case for the one that came from databases like Mongo database that are NoSQL, if you are looking to work with Amazon and you want to continue using NoSQL databases, this is the option that Amazon gives. Of course, DynamoDB can scale horizontally, very easy. So this is a good option in the case that the ones that are working with NoSQL databases. And the last one in the databases services or core databases services called Redshift. Redshift is the data warehouse that Amazon gives to the customers. So for all the customers that are moving from an on-premise data warehouse and lose data warehouse on cloud, Redshift is the solution for that. So they give all the features that the data warehouse have on-premise. Moving to a part of networking, this part is interesting. Some important concept behind here is the VPC. Let me show you what is or how it looks like a VPC. So you can create a number of VPCs here. Everything moves against a VPC. So when you start working with Amazon, the first thing that you have to do is create your own VPC. In my case, for example, I have created one VPC that is this one, that basically my VPC is the one that is going to contain my services, my virtual servers, my storage. Everything is going to be contained inside the VPC. So as you see here in this graphic, you can see that the VPC can have different instances. These instances are going to be part of a region in Amazon, and everything is communicated in the way that the virtual private cloud works like a logical isolation for other networks. So inside the VPC, you have this kind of isolation, so you can put all the different information, all the different services that you need. Basically, concept here is about subnets. So when you create a VPC, you have to make another division inside the VPC, and you can create subnets. So basically, a VPC is a set of subnets. You can have inside the VPC 1, 2, 3, and the number that you want of subnets. And inside the subnet, you're going to put all your instances that you're going to work with. So why is important to make this division? Because basically, it's important that this instance do not have probably access or do not see the information that occurs or that this instance have. So the way to make these separations is with subnets. So you have different subnets that are divided by security also. A lot of security inside the subnet, but this is the way that these are divided. Another important thing I have mentioned is about security. In this case, we have two ways to put security for the subnets. We have security groups and the one that calls network access control list. The security group is the one that you can specify in case you need to create, for example, a specific permission for access. In this case, for example, I have security groups that I have created. So this security group define different rules, and you can say, I allow to give access to all the protocols or to a specific protocol, and you can put the IP for the destination of that protocol. So you give access to these different protocols, based on how your instances want to manage. For example, if you want to give access to port 80 only, in this rule, you have to put like type all of traffic protocol, all port range 80 and the destination, the IP. You can set a specific IP if you want to make put more limits there. In the case of network access control list, works in the way that you can specify some kind of rules for allow or not allow any kind of access. So here in the console, you can say, I allow to give access to all the IPs that call my service. Or you can say also, I want to change this and I don't allow this. Or here you can say deny or allow, or you can put here the source of the IPs and also the different types of IPs that traffic that is going to arrive. For example, you can specify here if the traffic came from Oracle, from MySQL, if it came from Postgres, if it came from HTTP. So you can specify specific data that you want to allow for your services to go inside your subnet. So the network access control is more related subnet, and security group is more related instance. And this is one question of the exam that I have found that this sent me in security group affect instances or subnets, and it's instances. And network access control list affects subnets. So this is the basic rule. In this case, in the way that you are going to make your distribution when you start creating your virtual private cloud. And normally the customers and the first thing that do is create this kind of virtual private clouds. Then about the internet access, you can define some kind of internet gateway in case you need to give access to the internet to your instances. For that, you can create public subnets or private subnets based on the IPs. You can assign elastic IP addresses in case you need it, but it's the way that you define your services. Another important thing is about the way that you are going to connect your services of Amazon with your on-premise. We are talking about define your own VPN or direct connect. Direct connect is like a private channel that you are going to have. You have to, it's very expensive, and it's useful in case you need to send a lot of data from your data center to Amazon. In the case of VPN, it takes sense only if you are going to send not too much data to on-premise. So because basically it's going to be more slow. Direct connect is very fast. So depends on the scenario. You can select one or the other, no? In terms of connection. Route 53 is the one that normally we use in order to create domains or to expose domains. If you want to register domain, so you can use Route 53 is the Amazon global domain name system. So you can use this to expose your own domains also. Have different policies in this case, so you can say that a customer can be routed to a specific instance that is a simple routing policy. You can say, for example, if you have two instances in different regions, you can say to Route 53 that 80% of the traffic go to one region and 20% of the traffic go to another region, depends on the scenario that you have. You can say also, based on the latency, you can say that if you have some kind of big latency, you can say that if you are from South Africa, you decide to send that same information to the Europe side, to the South America, because the latency is higher. So you can say to Route 53 to always select the one that is best in terms of latency. And the failover, usually these kind of scenarios that are active passive used by like for example, a blue-green deployment, you can use a failover scenario for routing policy in Route 53 to manage this kind of things. Also, you can manage the geolocation, depending, for example, for the one that are in the US, can send information to the instances that are in the US, and if another customer call from Europe can send all his data to Europe. So the Route 53 have this intelligence to select in which cases you're going to select to send the data. And the multi-value, similar like the simple one, but only make some kind of healthy checks for the access. About network also, CloudFront are the cache local services that Amazon have in order to, if you need to access some data and you are in Europe, what Amazon do not do is go to United States to extract the data. Basically, have cache locations in Europe to extract the data, so to not make this travel. This calls CloudFront. That is basically a CDN, content delivery network that Amazon have in order to manage all the content that you need to show in your web. And that's it. That are the services that we have in the site of Amazon. How to prepare for the certification, domains that I think that you have to take care about, cloud concepts, security, technology, billing and pricing, including the part of support. Facts about the exam. The exam is compute-based test. You can do it by home. Actually, I have done it by home. Have approximately 65 questions, more or less. Have to be completed in 90 minutes. And answers questions are incorrect. No penalty for incorrect questions, so take care about that. My recommendation is to take your time for review. Don't try to resolve everything in the first moment. Try to make some reviews in order to be sure that you have the correct answers. It's 90 minutes, so it's a lot of time. So you're going to get stressed in some moments. So be patient and try to resolve your questions. To pass, you need 70% of correct answers. So that's important to take care about. The cost of the exam is $100. The expire is 3 years. I have prepared basically with documentation on Amazon. This site is interesting, Our Cloud Guru. I like it. I have interesting information that you can probably follow. Here also you can find questions about the exam, have a special engine that generate a lot of questions so you can practice and practice and practice. And also for sure some training in Udemy about Cloud Practitioner training. You can find here more information about certification facts. And let's go to a demo very quick. I think that I am running out of time. So basically what I am going to do here is I am going to show you an example of how I can use Amazon API Gateway. I can send some information to the bucket and I can receive then some information from the bucket based on the call that I am going to do to the gateway. So what I have here is this is how a Lambda function looks like. A Lambda function, you can define, for example, the different language that you can use for Lambda. In this case, I have decided to create a Python for this. So my Lambda function, the only thing that is going to show you is my name, actually. So when you define a Lambda function, let me try to show you this. When you define a Lambda function, you have to define a trigger. In this case, you have different triggers. You can say that the trigger of your Lambda function is going to be a gateway, is going to be a DynamoDB, is going to be an MQ, an S3, is going to be something about Atlassian, whatever. In my case, I have to say that my Lambda function is going to be an API gateway. So I have exposed an API here, is an HTTP API, and that basically what it's going to do is when I call this API, what it's going to do is going to call my Lambda function. So in this case, only for you to see, it's simple in this part. This is my IP, this is my Postman. So when I call this one, what is going to show you the Lambda function is my name. And this what is going to do is basically calling the Lambda function. In the other side, what I have do also is I have create a website very quick. With Amazon S3, you can create your own website. So trying to show you this quite fast here in S3. When you create a bucket, you can set, when you create a bucket, that you want to host different static website here. So you can host a website, and usually they request an index and an error HTML. So my index looks like this one. Basically, my index, what it's going to do is going to show you a first name, singular, a button that calls click me. And when I click this button, it's going to call a function that is going to call my API. That is the API that I have showed to you. That is this one. So it's very, very simple, but takes some time to prepare. For sure, I have prepared with some advance to be sure that everything works. But the way that this works is I call this website and says hello singular, click me. I have pasted this graphic based on my index, and when I click this one, what is going to happen is it's basically going to call to a Lambda function based on the API that I have exposed, and it's going to return my name based on the execution of this. So this is one of the things that I have prepared based on this interaction, buckets, API, gateways, and Lambdas. And the other probably interesting thing is I don't know if you are aware of what is Alexa. Alexa is the device that Amazon have to receive some kind of instructions, vocal instructions. So what I have done is I have created a skill in Alexa. What basically the skill is going to do is going to call a Lambda function, and this Lambda function is going to reproduce an audio that I hope that you can recognize what the audio is talking about. So I hope that also you can hear about that. You can hear the audio. So let's start for the most easy part, that is Poly. Poly is a tool that Amazon have to make some kind of reproduce some kind of audio. I don't know if you can hear this one. Do you hear this one? Do you hear that?
No.
No.
Me neither.
Hi, my name is Joanna. I will read any text you type here.
Do you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This is Poly. This tool, basically what it do is you can put whatever you want to put here, and you can then make a conversion to M3. So you can also change for different for this one.
Hallo, mein Name ist Marlene. Ich werde jeden Text vorlesen, den Sie eingeben.
So you can select language. So this is quite funny in terms of you can put whatever you want to put, and you can create an MP3 for that. So what I have do based on my demo is I have create MP3 based using Poly, and I have put this MP3 in a bucket. The bucket that I am using is, in this case, this bucket. Inside this bucket, I have put an MP3. So now I have in my bucket, my MP3, I have put a message there, but I hope that you can know what they are talking about, the message. So after that, what I have done is I have created a Lambda function. My Lambda function looks like this one. So when I create a Lambda function, let me show you this process of creation of Lambda, because I think it's interesting. So you can create a Lambda based from scratch, starting for nothing. You can select your own language, have Java, Python, Ruby, Net, a lot. You can create also your own, you can use your own language. You can use blueprints, so you can select templates of what your Lambda function is going to look like. or you can select or browse different app repository that developers or even the provider do. So in this case, I have I have used this blueprint, this functionality of Alexa skill to create my own Lambda function. So this is how my Lambda function looks like. This add Alexa skill kit, and this is how my Lambda function looks like. And what you are going to see here is, let me put some text here. So let me change this one. Okay. So I am going to put some information here only as an example for you to show to see this. So these are, you know, whatever I can put here even. I am from singular. My name is. And then the other thing is I have to deploy this Lambda function in the moment that deploy package successfully saved. So now what I have is my Lambda function, and I have my skill set based on I have not connect now my bucket with my MP3 with this Lambda, but I want to make this example first before making this link. So to make a skill, you have Alexa Developer Console. The developers gain some kind of money making skills. So if you are interested, we can have a conversation about how to create skills, how to publish your skill. So I have published a skill, basic skill based on an invocation. Here I have put in my endpoint the link with my Lambda. My Lambda, as you see here, this is the link of my Lambda, REN. I have taken this one and I have put here in the endpoint. And I have created some kind of interaction facts saying I am going to say to Alexa all the time that I go to Alexa and say, Alexa, give me a singular fact. Alexa is going to answer with something. So for that, I can make a test and says, so I can set, let me,
Here's your fact. Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets.
so you can put, let me see.
Here's your fact. Despite being farther from the sun, Venus experiences higher temperatures than Mercury.
So this reproduces the way that normally the humans interact with Alexa, saying singular facts, and here you appear some kind of console of input and output based on that. So what I am going to do now is I have my skill, I have my Lambda function working, that is this one. What I am going to make is a link with my MP3 to reproduce based on what I have put how my MP3 sounds. So for that I use this one. What basically I am putting here is a reference to my audio. As you probably see here, I am putting a reference to the bucket with the MP3. So now what I am going to say is singular facts, and it's going to reproduce my MP3. Let me try to see this, if this works. Should sound.
Here's your fact.
Founded in Madrid, Spain, more than 20 years ago as a developer of custom software solutions for some of the leading financial institutions in Europe, today, we have over 600 professionals working throughout the United States, Spain and Mexico, with other international offices poised to soon open. We provide a wide range of end-to-end technology solutions for companies and industries as diverse as health, energy, retail, and telecommunications. Despite our strong growth, we have not forgotten our roots as a startup in that In the ever-changing world of technology services, innovation and nimbleness are the keys to our and our clients' success.
Here the audio. Do you understand for whom it's talking about? Someone knows?
I have a suspicion.
No, Javi, I know that you know. Anyone knows? It's about singular. So I have take from here, and I have take this test, create an MP3, and I have put that in my MP3. So every time that I say singular fact, reproduce this text. So this is the demo that I have prepared in terms of the way that the things that you can do with Amazon are very, very high. You can do whatever you want to do, have a lot of issues that you can manage. These are a simple example that I have done yesterday, but I think that the possibility in terms of development is very high. Returning to the site of the certification, this is not part of the certification, but I think it's something important that you know that you can develop. So some last notice. We are lucky because all the years Amazon have an event that calls Amazon Reinvent. All the years this Amazon Reinvent have a cost. It's not expensive. It's not cheap. It's quite expensive, but this year is free. So our 3 weeks of virtual conference about Amazon. In this conference, usually this conference last year I think was in Las Vegas. So this year is going to be virtual. So Amazon have opened this conference to all his customers. So take your time probably to register in case you're interested too. So for that's what I have prepared for now. So if you have any question, let me know.
Hello, this
Yep.
is Antonio. Yeah, I have a simple question. You mentioned in one of the slides the links that you use to prepare for the certification, right? I'm wondering which is for you is the most important.
Well, to be honest, I can say that for me the most important at the end is try to review with some detail the part of the documentation of Amazon, because you are going to find a lot of sites like Cloud Guru, Udemy, and also you are going to start looking for engines about answers and questions of the certification, but it's going to take some time for you an idea. I prepare for 3 or 4 months, more or less preparing. Basically, what I do is I take a Cloud Guru, I pay a subscription for that site, I start studying, I take some notes from that, and after that, I start reading the documentation of Amazon, the facts, especially the facts, the frequency answers and questions, and with that, I make 2 or 3 exams from this site. I like this site too much. If you want to start with that, I think it's good. It's a good option. And at the end, I do another one from Udemy because I have read that have a lot of recommendations on that site, so that was good. And that's it. I don't recommend to try to read tons of books because it's going to be more confusing at the end.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
No problem.
Jose, I have a question. Marcelo here.
Hi, Marcelo.
I was comparing this kind of certification with another tools like, for example, Google Cloud. But this kind of certification is not the same as a study for Java certification, because whatever certificate, Java certification you are want to get, you are for Java. We are preparing for we need code to certify us. So I was wondering, because I've been heard about the Amazon Web Service before, but I was confused. I don't know if we have to learn some code of that, or in order to get the certification, do we need to just learn this tool and that's it? What do you think?
No, I think that exist different levels of certification. As I have told you, depends on your skill set, depends on your expertise, and depends on also your goals. About the first question that probably you have to answer before starting any certification, not only Amazon, is what is your goal with this certification? What do you want to achieve? So if you are looking also to have that certification and that's it, depends. If you have time, you have money, that's okay. But normally, the people that look for certification are thinking in the future, are thinking, okay, I want to, in my career, I want to evolve in this way. I want to dedicate to this, or I want to receive some kind of support from the provider saying that you have a certification for them. So in your case, for example, if you are looking for some kind of development certification, Amazon have also AWS Developer Certification that probably is going to evaluate your developer skills in the way that is going to not to go into how to create a virtual machine in Amazon or how to create a Lambda. Probably is going to say, I don't know, how to create a service in Python and deploy in Amazon, something like that. So it's a different approaches. And if you see the number of certifications that Amazon have are huge. It's very big, the number of certifications that Amazon have. Because Amazon do this because want to be sure that cover all the different persons or professionals or engineers that are looking for a certification. So if a DevOps want to certificate, have a DevOps certification. If a developer wants to have a developer certification.
Okay.
This one is the first one, is the one that normally the one that want to dedicate to this have, like a must have, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Jose.
No problem. Okay, so if you don't have more questions, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.